Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be going through the solution to exercise 1.23 from the C programming language textbook by Kernighan and Ritchie. Now, exercise 1.3 says to write a program to remove all comments from a C program. Do not forget to handle quoted strings and character constants properly. C comments do not nest. So in C, or up until ANSI C, which is what the book does, a C comment is typed like this. So you have to have an opening / and then an asterisk and then a closing asterisk and /. But now in later versions of C, it's also very common to have inline comments like this. And so I'm just going to handle both anyways, just because it's very common to see the inline comment nowadays. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is have an integer C for reading and user input. And then I'm going to use the standard method shown so far in the book. Okay. So how can we check if we're at a comment? Now, both the inline comment, that's this, and the block comment, which is this, both of them start with a /. So if C is a /, then we need to also check the character after it. So I'm going to create another integer D, and I'm going to get the next character. And then I'm going to say, if D is, once again, a /, then I should handle inline comment. Otherwise, if D is an asterisk, then I should handle block comment. Otherwise, if it's none of them, so if it's just normal user input, just put char C, the / and then put char whatever else we read. That way we are, not ignoring something that doesn't need to be ignored. Okay, now here we could just add our code like down below, like here, but I think it will be a little cleaner if we make some functions. So I'm going to make a function called remove inline comment, and it's going to return void and it's going to take void. So no arguments, no return type. Okay. So to remove an inline comment, we should know how does an inline comment end. Well, an inline comment, if I have one here, and then I say, I don't know, this is a comment, it's going to continue being a comment until I hit a new line character. And then anything after, as you can see, is not a comment. Or, if it's at the very end of the file, we don't actually need a new line, because straight after this T will be an EOF, an end of file indicator, and that also shows that it must be the end of the comment. So with that in mind, let's do this. We'll create an integer C that is local to this function. So the book does mention it, but this C is local to main, and this C is local to the inline comment, or remove inline comment. And what I want to do is I want to keep on reading user input while I'm still in the comment. So to be inside the comment, I must have not hit the end of file, and I must have not hit a new line character, and do nothing. So I want to keep on reading while we haven't hit the end of file and we haven't hit a new line character. And I just want to do nothing. Just keep on reading and do nothing with the input. Okay, and then we should check. If I did end up hitting the new line character, I should output it, right? So I'm going to say if C is the new line character, well, I can do one of two things. I can do that, or I can do that. I think I'm just going to do that. And that's the remove inline comment done. So we'll call it here. Like so. Now let's write our remove block comment. Okay. Now this function will be similar in some ways to the remove inline comment and different in other ways. So what we should do, or what we are looking for, is instead of keep on reading, we want to keep on reading until we have it hit the end of the comment. But the problem is the end of comment is not denoted by one character, but rather by two characters. So what we're looking for is an asterisk and then a /. So what I'm going to do is create two integers. An integer c for the first character we read in, and we'll read it in, and an integer d for the second character we read in. And what I want to do is I want to keep on reading two characters at a time until I have hit the end of the block comment. So how do I, in this function, all of this entire condition, if it's true, then we are not at the end of the comment. So we want something similar here. I want a condition here. If it's true, then we are not at the end of the block comment. So what does it mean if we're not at the end of the block comment? That means either C is not an asterisk or D is not a /. If either of those are true, then we must not be at the end of a comment. And now we shouldn't do nothing, we should keep on reading, right? But we have to be careful. We can't just do this. Why? Because suppose we have something like this. We have like, hello there, something like that, a comment like that. So we read in, or we check H and E, right, with the current implementation. And then we go and we check L and L, then we check O and space, then T and H, then E and R, then E and asterisk, and then /, and then whatever comes after. But notice we never checked these two together. We checked E and asterisk together, and then the / and whatever comes after it together, but we never checked these two characters at the same time. So what we have to do is, we have to check H and E, then E and L, then L and L, then L and O, then O and space and T, T and H and E, E and R and E and asterisk, and then we can check asterisk and /. So we're reading in two characters at a time, but we're only shifting over by one character as we move along. So that means that C, that first character, should be moved one over. Well, what's one over from C? Well, it's whatever D is. And then we can update D. And this way, we don't miss the end of the comment. And after that, we should put char C and put char D. No, actually, we shouldn't. I don't want to print that asterisk and /. So this is fine. Okay, and now we should call this remove block comment function. Okay, so what if we don't hit a /? I don't know, say we just hit a character A. Well, we don't want to remove it. So what should I do? I should just put char. And with this current implementation, it will work for very simple programs, but as the question alludes to, we need to handle strings, quoted strings, and character constants properly. Now let's take a look at why. Okay, what can go wrong? Now let's say we have, I don't know, a string, and it is, let's say, hello world. This looks fine so far, but here's a problem. With our current implementation, let's say in the string we have this. We have a double forward slash. Then we'll read, and then we'll hit this double forward slash, and our current implementation has no way to know that this double forward slash should be ignored. It's not a comment. Our program will think it is a comment. Likewise, and this is where it can really go wrong, if we have a forward slash and an asterisk, then once again, our program will think, oh, this is the start of a block comment, and we'll keep on looking for the end of the block comment, and we'll never find it because we are inside a string literal, or sorry, a quoted string. So we need to handle quoted strings properly. So I'm going to say else if C equals a double quote, then I should handle quoted string. And once again, I'm going to make a function for this. I'm going to call it handle quoted string. Okay. So with the quoted string, it's going to be quite similar to the new line character function, handle the inline comment function. So what I'm going to have is an integer c, and I want to keep on reading user input until I hit that closing double quote, and then I'm just going to put char the output. And then we should also be careful, because what if we have something like this? We have a string and hello there, but let's say here we have this escape sequence. So with our current implementation, if we just do this, it will read, and then we'll see this, and then it'll stop. It'll think that's the end of the quoted string, but it's not. So what we should do is we should check if C is a backslash. So that's the escape sequence for a backslash. To check for a backslash, you need to type double backslash. Then what should I do? I should read the next character and I should put it. So I'm going to do something cool here. I'm going to do it all in one line. So it reads the next character here, and then we pass that new character as an argument to put char. And this way, once we hit here, we'll check, is it a backslash? Yes. So put this down, and then we've essentially skipped over it. So then at the beginning of the while loop, the next character we read is this space character. Okay, and then here at the end, once I've reached the enclosing double quote, I'm going to put it there, and now I can go back here. So here I should put the opening quote, and then I'm going to handle the quoted string. Okay, now we're nearly done. There is one more thing that the question says to account for, and that is character constants. Let's see why once again. So let's say I have a character C, and this character C is, let's say it's a double quote. Then with our current implementation, we'll read this in, no problem. We'll read that in, and then we'll say, oh, we've just hit a quoted string because I see a double quote. And so it will keep on looking for the closing double quote, and it will never find it because it doesn't know this is just a character constant. So we need to handle that. So I'm going to go else if C equals a single quote. So a single quote is denoted by a backslash single quote. That's the escape sequence for it. What should I do? I should handle character constant. And here I'm going to make the function handle character constant. Okay, so it's going to be very similar to the handle quoted string function. While it does not equal the closing single quote, I'm going to put char C, and once again we're going to have to make a check, because let's say we have equals that, then it will think that this single quote is a closing single quote, not actually this one. So we're going to have to do the same thing here. And then we're going to get the next character and put it so we can skip over it. And then I'm going to put the closing character. And this way we handle the character constant properly. And let us call the function. So first we put the opening one, the opening single quote, and then we can say handle character constant. Okay, let me just remove this comment. That looks good to me. Let's compile it. It looks like we have a typo. I've got triple M here. Actually, let me just see. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, nice. So it compiles now, and I've written a C program here. So you can see we have a block comment up the top. We have quoted string with a possible check for an error, so it should skip over this. It shouldn't have this as the closing quote. Then we have an inline comment, and then inside the inline comment we also have a double quote. We have a character constant, we have another character constant, and another one. Then we have another quoted string, and we have a final inline comment. So to run it, I'm going to run the 1.23 test, the program we just wrote, and then I'm going to feed in the test.c as the input. So this just puts it as the standard input. And then let's see, we should get printed out the same program but without the comments. And look at that. We had an inline comment here, it was gone. We had one here, it was gone. And we had one at the top, also gone. And we can see that everything else has stayed, including these possible error points. Now, that will be all for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.